Let's talk about is Uber going to a 30% take rate?
So I've been getting a lot of these emails, Chris, from drivers. He goes, Serge, money keeps showing up in my account. I have no idea why. At first, I'm going like, I mean, you guys complain about everything. Money goes away, you guys complain. Money shows up, you guys complain. They go like, they don't tell me why the money's showing up. Then I'm like, bro, I don't know, but you're getting money. I mean,
Yes, the lack of
I'm sure.
communication between Uber and Lyft and driver is absolutely insane.
Yeah, because when the money shows up, they don't itemize why it showed up for. And I'm sure they screwed you somewhere, and then they're just being nice, I guess, sending it back to you in case they go, Serge and Chris will catch this and they fuck us up. And so might as well send them the money before they figure this gig out. So the sender of this is here. So this is actually an interesting thing because you know how Uber says, right? Our take rate has not gone up over the last 10 years, right? It's about 19,
Bullshit.
20%. Yeah, well, of course it is. But it says 19, 20%, right? Right? Okay. So Todd here, and he's here. I think he's here.
Yes, but
So
what,
he's
hold on. What you claim was the 18, 19, 20% 10 years ago to what you're claiming the 18, 19, 20% today,
yeah.
completely different numbers. So your take rate would go up because you're not counting the external expenses. You're saying, "Oh no, that's different.
Oh
That
sure,
doesn't
yeah.
touch us. That's a pass through." So even if they decided, "Oh, you made 10 years ago $80 on $100 passenger fare,"
Yeah.
yeah, that's $20. You're right. That's 20% take rate. But that same, let's say they do $100, they take $20, and then there's $30 that come out of external expenses. So now it's $50 that came out. Yeah, there's a massive difference there because all of the stuff that was included, which would have been their insurance and operational costs and all that good stuff, that would have been, taken out. Oh, look at that. Now they can claim it all 100% right to their business instead of the pass through.
Yeah. So Todd made it to big time now. Todd, this is your letter to me this week. He goes, hello, Sergio. So it seems I found where the earnings increase payments that I've been seeing for the past few months are coming from. I'm like, okay, let's take a look. I read all the emails, by the way, folks. Okay, I don't put it through AI, or I just read the damn thing. And so initially, when I sent it to you, when I first noticed it, so Todd started getting this money back into his account without an explanation, like $50, $60, $80, whatever. And a lot more drivers have been sending me this. He goes, do you have any idea what this money is for? I'm like, how am I supposed to know? If Uber is not telling you, I mean, you're getting money. I wouldn't be complaining. So initially, when I sent it to you, I first noticed it. You mentioned that it might be because they found a mistake before we could. That's true. I don't think this is the case. I'm like, okay, let's keep reading. As you know, I utilize Maximo to assist me in identifying which rides are worth taking or not. Okay. This ensures that every trip I take is above the current Massachusetts Uber Lyft settlement minimum of 34.48 per active hour. And on longer trips, my cost per mile doesn't exceed 50% of the total fare. This fact made me leery of there being a mistake, as I never take a ride that is below these minimums. Great. And I've never gotten a biweekly top off since the settlement with the state AG was reached. One other point that seemed odd to me is that they date this earnings increase as coming in Sunday morning when in fact is being added to my account Monday morning after the weekly auto payment has already happened. This made me go back through and compare the customer payments breakdown going back into mid-May, and I was not driving for a few months due to medical issues. So what I found was that between now and mid-May, I did not receive an earnings increase in 2 of these weeks. Those 2 weeks were June 1 through 8th and June 8th through the 15th. What I found in the customer fare breakdown screens was that these 2 weeks were the only weeks that Uber's take was a less than 30% of the total passenger payments. Every other week there where I did receive a payment, Uber's take rate was pegged at 30%. Pegged at 30%. Okay. So who is doing this now? Lyft. Lyft is pegging
Mm-hmm.
this at 30%. Right at 30%. And it's the algo is going to get you right at 30%. So that's the max that they can take. And if you look at
Yep.
some of these screenshots, he sent me a bunch more, but I just squeezed 4 of them. Look how consistent the 30% is, Chris. Do you see this?
Mm-hmm.
30%, 30%, 30%, 30%. There were a lot of them at 30%. So what he's saying is that maybe he's saying this seems that they are taking a uh, uh, move out of Lyft's playbook and trying to make it appear that their take rate is always 30% or less than it really is not. Attached are screenshots including today's earnings and screen showing the 77.56 sitting in my account, which that was the adjustment. Feel free to put this together for the SMTMC, which I did. Well, Todd, we appreciate that. Thank you for sending this, to us. And so Uber, I'm talking to you now. So I guess you guys are bumping it up to the Lyft level of 30%. Now, if you guys are seeing this, that they're pegging you right at 30%. So the reason you're getting the money, Todd, is, if I'm understanding correctly, he's saying that he's getting the adjustment because it's above the 30% threshold, and then they're sending you the extra money because they're taking more than the 30%. So maybe without saying it, Chris, we may have caught something here. I wouldn't be really surprised that Uber comes and says, this is the most transparent thing we're ever done.
And didn't say a damn word.
we're going to just stop at 30%, just like Lyft is doing.
So that means we're going to go up to 30%.
Yeah.
Because and again, hey, we got to figure out how that stock price is going to get up. So we got to do it. Dara needs his bonus.
I'm not long Uber. I'm long Lyft. So
one thing I always say is work smarter, not harder. If you aren't using the Solo app, then you may be working harder. So let's change that. Download the app, link your accounts where you can manage your income, track your expenses, and project your taxes. Not only that, but you can plan by optimizing your time, make more, and even guarantee your daily pay with guaranteed earnings. Download Solo and begin to work smarter, not harder today. Link is in the description. All right, let's get back to it.
I mean, they're only at 71.55 right now. So yeah, they need to do something.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't know anything that's going to come to me from Uber. Uber usually lets me know about a week before. He goes, "Hey, Serge, look at this, how transparent this is."
Yeah, but this is something that's been going on for several weeks at this point.
Yeah. So if you guys are seeing this pegged at 30%, please send me screenshots.
Hold on. Yeah. Before, I'm sure there's probably that people that are getting minimum or fair adjustments that you see come in, and you're like, it's like 10, 15, maybe $20 or something, maybe 35. If what all that is usually it's old tips. So it's old rides that finally opened up their app again. And it says, "Oh, would you like to tip your your last driver?" And then all of a sudden it's coming through. And then also it just depends on the timing too. So like it might be, a couple of weeks ago you gave that ride to a passenger, and then they finally tipped you, or it could be, Friday, Saturday night that they used it, and then they finally got around to tipping you, Tuesday or something. But that's past the pay period at that point because it ends Sunday at 4 a.m. Or technically Monday at 4 a.m. And so you go to the next pay cycle. So that's when you see tips come in. It'll say fair adjustment. It doesn't say like tip received or something like that. So that is usually what that is. But I mean, if you're seeing something where you're getting this type of thing, and you're getting like weird pricing put in, and you're pegged at that 30%, that definitely raises a real question there. Is that something that they're trying to do? And if so, maybe it's time to get some Uber stock too.
I don't know. Okay, all I'm saying is that this would be very interesting if Todd discovered this, sent it to me, we'll put it up. I'm sure Uber is watching Uber. If you're going to copy Lyft with the 30% cap, like Lyft is doing, and we put up next week we'll put up another sample, right? Maybe at the end of July, how everybody is pegged right about it. Like if I will get like 100 screenshots, Chris, and then pretty soon everybody's 27, 31, 30, 29, like on Lyft. I'll go figure it out how to just get that 30 out of them. Unlike Lyft's 14%, and unlike Uber's 19 to 20%. This could be huge for Uber if this is true. This could be the second breakout of Uber after upfront fares.
Yeah. And you know what? Maybe they're seeing the writing on the wall. They're saying, "Oh, we got to get our stock price up. How are we going to do that?" Well, AVs aren't really what we thought it was going to be. We're trying to push it. But these people just don't get it. We want the AVs. And they're like, "Well, okay, well, we got to zig when we zag, and we got to figure this out, because if we can't get that, we got to make sure we're still getting our costs. So what do we do? Well, Lyft just did the Lyft fee cap of 70/30, and they're taking 30% off the top. So why not we take 30% off the top? We just gave ourselves literally a 33% ka-ching right in our
Oh,
pockets.
but look at this
And
one though. Look what Todd is
I like.
saying. Look what Todd is saying. Chris, if you tap on the earnings increase line item, okay. Oh, this is a giveaway. Dead giveaway right there. It has a description of we increased your earnings so the amount you keep is more consistent week over week, Chris.
Huh.
Yeah. Okay. Uber.
I think we gotta
Uber.
email Uber and see what the hell's going on.
Yeah,
with
Uber. Don't hide it. We figured it out. If you raise the cap and if you're just going to follow Lyft, don't be shameful. Don't be ashamed. Send me an email saying, Serge, yep, we're going to go to 30% right off the top, and then everything else is something else. I'm looking forward to that email at least by Friday, Uber, so we can talk about it next week, because I am sure now they're going to break the news. Transparency, fairness, 30%. That's it. Let's not negotiate. 30%, and we'll just give you some of the shit back. And I'm like, okay, so yeah, we may have discovered something here, Chris. So there you go.
Yeah. So payday to Uber, you might get like crumbles, but that's because they're taking 35% and then giving you your 5% back that you should have had instead of
Uber.
So interesting there. At first, when you were looking at the email, because I didn't read this beforehand, I'm like, oh, I wonder if that's just tip adjustment. And then when it went through and
the odd thing
about
is
how the pegged at 30%, I'm like, oh, okay, that doesn't seem like it's the same. That actually seems like it might be something else.
Okay, the odd thing is, Chris, I've started getting these emails way before Todd said this. A lot of drivers started emailing me. He goes, Serge, I got $60. I got $70. What is this for? I'm like, bro, I don't know. Be happy we got your money. And now that we have a handle on this, so now you guys can send me the extras. Okay, extras.
Yeah.
Extras.
So now we know what we're looking for. So, and so do you. So if you're getting that, let us know.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, that's Jeff being Jeff. But so if you guys are getting adjustments and you don't know why, do what Todd did. Go to your weekly summary. Let's see if you're pegged at 30%. And the weeks that are over 30% on a Monday, you're going to get an adjustment. So that's the clue. Okay. So if you're pegged at 30, that means they charge you more than 30 and they're going to send you some money back.
Yeah. And I'd be interested to see if it would say 30% or if it would say like
30%.
No. What I'm saying is I'm wondering if it's going to say like 36% right at the end of the week.
No, you will say 30 and then they'll send you the money without explanation. They'll say just 30.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like they'll do that, bring it down. So
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what happens and how that goes. But yeah, if this is something that you're seeing, yeah, it may be that they instituted a 30% take now.
Uber.
Let me clarify, a 30% Uber take, because they're still taking more of your money, even though they want to claim that it's for something else. It doesn't matter. That is still your business cost. You decided that you will provide commercial insurance to every single ride that happens on the platform. That is your expense and your expense alone. We have our own insurance. That is our expense. We don't just self-deduct that right off the top and say, oh, well, that's not going to us because that's getting. No, that is part of you doing business because your choice was to literally say, oh, we provide commercial insurance on every single ride, instead of giving the driver the option to say, hey, I can get my own commercial insurance. Give me that top off instead.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out. Uber has been copying Lyft and pretty much everything they're doing. I wouldn't be
here's
surprised.
The thing. Why not? I mean, why be the leader when you can have somebody else test it out, trial it out and say, oh, that worked or it didn't work. And hey, this is what happens. So if Uber does something that if Uber copies something Lyft did, look at it and see, hey, what was that? Because if that tells me that Lyft stock, gonna go to the moon. Don't quote me, not financial advice, but that's my thoughts.
I'm long Lyft. Let's go.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you'll be notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.